Alright guys, welcome back to what will likely be the last of the Madden 19 franchise feature focuses as we transition from more of the mechanical CFM features with things like schemes and player archetypes and move into more of the presentation side of the new franchise features, which is going to bring us to the immersive environments and snapshots. Now, I know I said I was going to have a separate video for both, but as I was laying out what I was going to be talking about in both of those, I realized that if I did separate those, they were both going to end up being very short videos simply because there's just not much to get to with these kind of things. And then also with the snapshot, it ties into how I feel about some of the immersive environment elements. So it just worked out better putting those together and putting them all in one video. But getting into the immersive environments first, it describes itself as unleashing the power of Frostbite and says that while playing as a coach or an owner, you'll be exploring an office-like environment. It also adds that if you're a coach, and I'm assuming owner here as well, if you've won a Super Bowl, you're going to see a Lombardi trophy on the shelf, and then if you're playing as a player, that environment will shift from being an office to being the locker room. And then in addition to that, the NFL draft also gets some love in the form of the draft stage, which will show who is on the clock, as well as displaying the previous pick on a giant video board. On top of that, when you make a pick, rather than just seeing the player card as you would currently in Madden 18, you will now get a live action shot of your pick in his full team uniform as well as a pose. So I'm going to start off with the draft stuff there, which I really liked, and I'm a huge fan of that, and I think it's going to be really cool. Some of you guys might remember a little over a month ago I made a What the Franchise video detailing my issues with the draft presentation, and then another Beyond the Blueprint video following that detailing some ways that the quote Super Bowl of the offseason could be improved. So this was something I definitely wanted to see addressed, and I'm really happy that it got some attention and is closer to making the draft truly feel more like that spectacle and event that it is in real life. It's not going to be as crazy as people might be expecting from the screenshots, but I think it's a really nice start, and I don't think that there's a whole lot that needs to be added to make it an even better experience and something that is definitely worthwhile of being within CFM. Obviously, people are going to hit on why players are in their full uniform, and I definitely get that, but for me personally, I don't really mind that at all. I think showing them in a suit holding up their team's jersey like the old Super Nintendo Maddens would be cool too, but either way, I'm a fan of it. I like it, and I think it's a great addition. On to the other side of things, which is going to be the character environments with players, coaches, and owners. And I want to be careful with this because I've seen a lot of people that like it, and I'm not trying to kill anyone's vibe, but for me personally, I just really don't like it at all. And I think part of that isn't so much to do with the idea itself, but more so to do with what could have been done. And I just think it was a huge missed opportunity, but that's going to change from person to person. I've seen more than a few people say that they really like it and that it's immersive. For me personally, it doesn't do anything, but immersion is something that is completely subjective, so nobody's wrong there. I will say when compared to last year's main HUD, I do like this better, and they did do a couple of additional things that were really nice. You've likely already noticed, but if you look at the top of the screen, you're going to be seeing your schedule on pretty much any screen that you're on within CFM. And in addition to that, when you get to the Super Bowl week, it will also have both teams that are playing in the Super Bowl up top as well, which I think is really nice because that was something that you wouldn't normally know unless you went searching for it before. Then as you look at the bottom, you're also going to notice that the ticker scrolling along the bottom is now scrolling through the Twitter feed and relevant information from your CFM. This is another thing I've been suggesting for quite a while now. I do wish it did a little bit more and had a little bit more information down there, but getting back to the immersive environment aspect, like I said, I feel like it was just a huge missed opportunity, and I would have much rather seen something newsfeed related in its place rather than just a coach or an owner sitting at his desk. If you're playing as a superstar, I completely get it, and I think it really works in that element, showcasing your guy in the locker room. And I will say that having the Super Bowl trophies in the background is a nice touch and a really cool part of this, but overall I just feel like putting news front and center, especially considering what you're going to be able to do with Snapshot, would have been a much better move. And for me personally, I would have gotten way more out of something like that than I will out of this. But just to get to Snapshot really quick, basically this is going to function similar to the screenshot screenshot capability that's available on consoles. But basically you're going to be able to capture screenshots from your games, whether it's in the replays during the game or after the game, and those screenshots are going to pop up on the TV screens in the background while you're in the franchise, as well as in the news feed and main menu as well. And something you guys might not know is that I absolutely love going into replays throughout games and capturing screenshots, which is something that already makes me like this feature, but I really want to hit on the fact that these screenshots are going to show up in the news feed. And as most of you guys know, that's been a huge part of what I've been pushing for in terms of the news feed and keeping you immersed with what's going on around your league inside of CFM. So when I see that, it's almost like damn, because all the ingredients are there and they're being used correctly. You just have to kind of push that stuff up front rather than keeping it buried. But overall, I think there's a lot of potential with what can be done with something like this moving forward though. At the end of the season, you could provide the user with almost sort of a photographic yearbook and kind of take them back through the season using those snapshots. So for me, this is one of those small things that I really like. But like I said, that's going to be different for everybody, and what's more immersive for me might not be as immersive for you, and vice versa. But I think that's going to do it. Like I said, there's not too much you can get into with these things. They just kind of are what they are. But overall, the immersive environments, I'd say I'm neutral on. I really like the draft stuff, and I think that stuff's really cool. But I'm not a fan of the other stuff and really wouldn't be bothered if it wasn't there. And then Snapshot, I really like that as well, and I think there's a lot of potential with that moving forward, and what can be done just from a presentation aspect. But let me know what you guys think of the immersive environments and what you think of the draft presentation and new CFM hub, and then the snapshots feature as well. I'm gonna be having at least one more Madden 19 franchise video, just taking an overall look at CFM with this year's features and then kind of going over where we go from here. I was gonna do that immediately following this, but I think what I'm gonna actually do is have another Chiefs franchise video before then, just to kind of break the monotony there, and because it's been like a week already since that first game. But like I said, that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, thanks for watching.